And a happy Thursday, everybody. Welcome in. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3, The Game. Hope you're having an awesome start to your day. I see my microphone doesn't want to stay up. That's okay.
That's great, man.
Pill for that. But anyway, Joe, what's up? How are you?
I'm doing well, man. Good morning to you. And we got to do a shout out to our good buddy Greg Pogue, who became a grandpa 2 days ago.
Oh, yeah.
His daughter gave birth, healthy
He's
baby.
listening right now, probably.
Boy or baby. I don't know if it's a boy or girl. That's how good of a friend I am. But everybody seems to be doing well. So congratulations, Greg, on becoming a grandpa. Now you have another reason to drink.
Yeah. Well, and, you know, it's funny that you bring him up. You've broken one of his rules now because you know how he feels about talking about the competition on your show. So.
Is he competition? He's a friend. I don't even know what he's doing anymore.
Something like that.
Yeah.
We love Greg Pope.
Yeah.
Obviously learned a lot from him. Mostly what not to do, but, you know, it's okay. Anyway, we're up and running here on this Thursday. We'll talk some hockey with Greg Wyshynski at 9:30. Coach Derek Mason of MTSU will join us at 10 as his first signing day with the Blue Raiders was yesterday, or early signing day, whatever the hell it is now. I can't keep up with it all.
Here's the deal. Next year, the early signing day allegedly is right around college football playoff time. So they're
moving it back?
Just get rid of it in December. But what was wrong with it in February?
Just have one day.
Or move it to mid-January. It's asinine and stupid.
Well, I
don't know a single college coach who enjoys it.
No, I don't either. But didn't they move it to December so kids can early enroll?
Something like that, yeah.
Yes, there are two signing periods. There's one in December and then one, I think, in May or March, right?
Right, but I'm saying they added the December one, which technically, from what I understand, February is when they actually sign, right?
No, you can sign now.
You can sign. So it is a pen to paper now.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Yep.
And so then they can early enroll? That's
yeah,
what it
to
is?
be in spring ball, I do believe.
Yeah. So
Gotcha.
then February, so you have a lot of guys at the portal now, and so you might have some openings that come up. And then in February, you might have some more spots available, and then you go there. But I don't know a single college coach who enjoys it. Lane Kiffin had a great rant last night on Twitter about this. Like, we're at practice getting ready for a bowl game, and our coaches are on the football field with their cell phones in their hand the entire time, so it's not good.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. The coaches can't make it go away. I mean, the genie's out of the bottle on a lot of this stuff. But the coaches can control it a lot more than they think they can. They can put a stop to some of this, but they're all going to have to get on the same page and come together, and we know that's never going to happen.
Yeah, they don't have to fight ADs and presidents and everything else that goes along with it, and it's just a battle, and they're like, hey, I'm in the middle of a bowl game or whatever's practice going on. It's just difficult.
But, like, name the top 5 most powerful coaches in college football right now. Saban, Kirby Smart.
By the way, these Kirby Smart rumors, have you heard these?
No.
He wants the Atlanta Falcons job.
That would be so stupid.
And that's the reason all these kids are flipping out of Georgia.
That would be so stupid.
Look, evidently 8 of the top prospects in Georgia, and Georgia's a hotbed of college football, not a single one of them have committed to Georgia. And the rumor is Kirby wants that Atlanta Falcons job.
Why?
Power, ego,
Why
prestige.
do they all want to do this? They're on the top of the college football world, and it's all of them. Steve Spurrier did it. Saban did it.
Lou Holtz
did it.
Al Grohl did it.
Yeah, they've all done it. Of like, you know, I've dominated the college scene. Now let me go do it in the NFL, and it rarely works. The only 3 that have been successful in it: Jimmy Johnson, Barry Switzer with Jimmy Johnson's team, and then Pete Carroll.
That's exactly right.
That's
exactly
it.
right. Yeah, it doesn't work.
Think about how many have tried. And the difference is, like, Pete Carroll started in the NFL, and then he, went to – and if you look at his record before he went to USC, he was like a 500 coach. Yeah. It wasn't awful.
Well, here's the deal. We've talked about this with Vrabel, these dumb rumors about him going to Ohio State. Do you want to be a college coach
He'd last
today?
half a year.
Do you want to go to – all that you got to go through? Do you want to deal with kids and egos and moms?
He'd punch a dad.
And agents?
He'd get so –
right.
Like,
you don't want to do this.
So done with all the BS that you got to deal with.
Look, he knows in January the season's over with, and now you got Senior Bowl you got to go to. You evaluate draft people. I mean, you're not babysitting these kids and watch these guys flip their mind left and right about where they're going to go. It's chaotic, man. And so God bless the coaches.
Alex from Nashville says a fake account tweeted that. about Kirby Smart?
I've heard it quite a bit.
Yeah.
Quite a bit. And somebody said, well, why do you think these kids are now, the rumors gotten out there, these kids have flipped from Georgia? I'm with you. I stay at Georgia. You got a massive contract. You got everything you need to win. Nobody's coming after you. You go to the NFL with that roster that's awful?
Yeah.
No.
Well, okay, I'm going to play conspiracy theorist for a second.
Oh, do it. You put a hat on?
Because I like
You
doing
take your
this.
shirt off?
I'm not going to take my shirt off, but Greg Pogue does that. I'm not going to
pass.
What if this is now, look, I think that if he truly wants to give it a try, then he really wants to go give it a try. Like, he thinks that he can go be successful in the NFL. But could you see a scenario of maybe he goes, it's a one and done or 2 and done, 2 years max. Saban sticks around, and then instead of going, he comes back to college, but he goes to Alabama.
Smart?
Yeah.
No, not at all. Not at all. Once Alabama gets their new guy, James Franklin, next year, then they'll be done.
Well, but what if Saban? What if they don't win this year? What if Alabama doesn't win this year?
Kirby is at his alma mater. Who is Kirby compared to at Georgia?
Dooley.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. And he's won 2 titles. He's won
Almost
more
said
than
Derek. Vince Dooley.
He's won more titles than Vince Dooley won at Georgia. So he's compared to Vince Dooley.
Yeah,
and
I
even
don't
not
know.
That more.
Look, if I could get in a room with him, one, security would throw me out.
Right.
And 2,
they would.
I would say, Kirby, what are you doing, man?
Yeah, he's not going to happen.
Like, you are, like, Saban is the god in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, or at the state of Alabama.
Yep.
You are the god in the state of Georgia.
So why take it? Well, tell me what that does better for you.
It does nothing.
Yeah. So you are, and you get me all emotional. I know. So now you got all your, you're building a legacy at Georgia. Don't go. It's just that's what I would do right there. And so.
Was that your rant?
No.
Okay.
Can I do my rant now? Wait.
Your rant.
Every time, twice a year, this drives me insane. TV people do it all the time. Stop doing it. Danielle Breezy did it today. Danielle, you know better than this.
Shortest day of the year.
Every day is 24 hours, right? My clock says 12 to 12. It's not like somebody said, well, it's 18 seconds added on. No, my clock's 12 to 12. Stop saying it's the shortest day of the year. It's not. In June, stop saying it's the longest day of the year. Shortest day with daylight. It's very simple. Stop doing this. When I worked in TV, they did it all the time. I was like, stop doing it. And they argued with me. Stop doing it. Your clock doesn't say 12 o'clock and 18 seconds today or whatever it is. Every day is 24 hours. Thank you. Stop doing it. I feel much better now. Thank you.
Do you feel better? I'm glad.
I do.
I'm glad.
I do.
You should.
So call out TV people when you see. I've already heard it 3 times this morning. Call them out. Let them know it's wrong. Thank you.
Okay. I'm glad you feel better.
Yeah.
By the way, people are saying on the text line that, add Jim Harbaugh to that list. He hadn't won a Super Bowl. And he hadn't won a national championship either. So
okay. I mean, you're going to miss. There's probably 1 or 2 more down the line.
Yeah, I mean, look, Jim Harbaugh he got his team to a Super Bowl. Now he's got Michigan back in the playoff again for the 2nd year in a row.
Yep.
He's had success, but he hadn't had, Saban success. I mean,
No.
Jimmy Johnson, Barry Switzer, and Pete Carroll are the only to win national championships and Super Bowl.
That's right. I mean, Lou Holtz said the biggest mistake in his great coaching career was going to the Jets for 1 year. They were terrible. Saban was all. I remember Saban said when he went to the Dolphins and he came back and went to Alabama and said, it's just a different mindset coaching in the NFL and college. And somebody said, well, why is that? And he's like, well, professionals are on a different level, meaning they're not going to listen to you the whole time.
They make more money than you,
Yeah.
so why should they listen to
Even
you?
Deion, Deion still might coach NFL one day. I get that, but Deion's like, he's even said that in his specials, like, ain't no guy going to listen to me that makes more I make more money than.
I don't believe a damn word that he says, but
he had a bad recruit. I mean, he got a bunch of guys to flip to go over there, portal guys, but recruiting wise, why would you want to go there?
yeah, nah, the shine's wearing off.
Big time.
The thing with Saban in Miami though is, had they gotten Drew Brees, that might have looked different.
Yeah, I mean, but it didn't, and so we could play that game all day long.
But you love the what if game. I mean, what if Miami had gotten Drew Brees instead of Dante Culpepper, would Saban have ever gone to Alabama?
It would have changed the trajectory of college football as we know it today.
I think so.
100%.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. We're up and running here on a Thursday. Mike Vrabel named the quarterback if Will Levis can't go, and one of us was right, one of us was wrong.
Stop it. Can we do our question of the day?
We'll get to our question of the day coming up next.
All right, but stop this. You know I'm right.
Oh, I'm going to take a victory lap for a second.
You're gonna do that.
Yeah, I'm taking a victory lap. You're going to have to deal with it. It's Jason Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
Hey, my dear friends, listen to me. I want you to say goodbye to all those high medical bills. That's right. When you use Medical House Calls, you don't have to worry about hidden fees or surprise charges. You know the cost going in. It's that simple. Medical House Calls is revolutionizing how patient care is getting done. Patients pay one flat fee no matter the treatment, making Medical House Calls more affordable than the average urgent care and emergency room. Also, we're in the middle of the cold and flu season. You can get tested and treated without leaving your home. No more driving across town to your doctor's office. Their mobile medical services are here to make your health a top priority. Visit medicalhousecalls.com and see what everybody is talking about. In fact, my good friend Chuck McDowell loved the treatment he received. He bought the company. It's medicalhousecalls.com, where the nearest clinic is your home.
Willis, the fact that Tannehill take the first team reps today mean he would be the guy on Sunday if Will can't go, or is that
Ryan would be the quarterback if Will is unavailable.
That's Mike Vrabel yesterday, making it pretty clear that if Will Levis is unavailable, Ryan Tannehill would be the starting quarterback for the Titans. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 the game.
It our way. Sorry.
Good song. Laverne and Shirley?
Yeah.
There you go. I know my TV.
Imagine going to work and your boss absolutely hates you. I mean, when I worked at Channel 4, my boss hated me, and I hated him. But think how Malik Willis feels. Going to work. I know he's getting paid. I get all that, man. But don't a part of you feel kind of sorry for him? Just a little bit?
A little bit.
Okay. I mean, just caring,
Yeah, because later on, Tannehill was asked, why, and he goes, because Ryan's been the backup. I mean, that was like his that was his thing. And I laughed at that. I did laugh. I was like, well, I mean, he's not wrong. Look, I think you and I had a spirited debate about this yesterday. The callers and texters had a spirited debate with us about this yesterday. Some were Tannehill, some were Willis. I will never, ever, 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 ever subscribe to the, like, hey, let's just quit trying and just tank and, just do it that way. Like, I'm never going to subscribe to that. I'm going to go out there, as bad as this team is, if I'm on this team, and give everything I got until the very, very end. To me, putting Malik Willis out there is not doing that. You know what you have. Like, this whole narrative of, let's see what we have in him. You know what you have. You've known. You tried. He was the backup to start the year.
You already know what you have in Tannehill.
Right.
You already know.
Right. But if I have these young players on the team, and you probably know what you have in Treylon Burks and Chigakonkwo, but give them more of a chance. Chig's actually played okay as of late. Give them more of a chance to succeed with the veteran quarterback. That's how I feel.
Okay. But I just feel bad for Malik Willis. Going to work knowing your boss hates you every day is it's not a fun thing. I've been there. We've all been there at some point in our lives where you go to work and you know that the upper management can't stand you, and you just do the best you can.
Notice I'm just staying quiet on this one.
As you should. This doesn't partake to current employment, but
no.
My TV career was like that. I had bosses who hated me, and you just show up to work every day and do the work, and I just feel bad. I mean, it's like with Mariota in 2019 at the very end when nobody wanted him around.
Yeah. I remember, I will never forget being in the locker room in Kansas City after they lost the AFC Championship, and Marcus is just there by himself at his locker, and he's just kind of looking around, and I just walk up to him. I'm like, hey, Marcus. He's like, hey, bud, how are you? And like, hey, good luck with everything, man. He gave me a hug. He was just,
oh, buddy.
He was just like, I was just like, man, I feel bad for him.
After I blasted him on TV, he never talked to me again. So I feel bad about that.
I did have the tweet with the hand warmers, but I guess
you got blasted for that too.
Not by him though.
No,
he thought it was funny.
I mean, nice guy. Not a good quarterback. It's okay if you're not a good quarterback. So Malik Willis, it's okay, buddy. You'll be successful.
Marcus, see, look, and I've heard this come up. If they brought Marcus back next year to be the backup, I'd have zero problem with that. Zero. He's a good dude, good locker room guy.
You know where I'm going.
I know. Keep him in the locker room. But
Chase,
he could be the backup.
You're better than that. Come on.
You got to have a backup. What's wrong with bringing him back as a backup?
What's wrong with having Ryan Tannehill as a backup?
Because he wants to go play.
I know he does.
Yeah, he wants to go play.
So
he's going to be like Brett Favre. I still can play.
Yeah, probably could. But I just think that with Willis, he'll like. Why would a Canadian team have him? Just throw the ball and go up there. I mean,
I actually think that would be like. I've said this before.
Say it again.
For guys, Ricky says I'm drunk today. Why am I drunk? For guys that.
God, you love him.
I do.
Every time that text rings with Ricky, you just get so excited.
He's our, he's
ombudsman.
He's our,
ombudsman.
moral compass.
That is.
If the XFL or the USFL or whatever it is was like had a deal with the NFL,
yeah.
In like, let's say the Titans could retain Malik Willis's rights, but he goes plays in one of those leagues.
Why not?
That would be huge.
Yeah,
I wish that they would do that.
I asked Tim Hasselbeck one time. There was a quarterback that kept getting cut, and I'm like, "When do you know it was enough is enough?" And he says, "When all 32 teams tell you it's enough." I was like, brilliant.
Yeah, but okay, so Tim Hasselbeck's a great example. What did Tim do? He played in NFL Europe.
Yeah.
And then he had a nice
career. Tried to get his way, yeah.
He had a nice career as a backup.
Right.
You know, and that's what and he's talked about that. He's like, look, I was a backup. That's what I was. But he had a nice career as a backup, and there's nothing wrong with that. Malik Willis could do that, but I think he could benefit from if the NFL would just do, you know, and I think it's coming. Work a deal with one of these, you know, spring leagues where you retain his rights, but he goes and he plays. I think that would be huge because he's getting the benefit of game reps.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look at Warren Moon, look at Doug Flutie. I mean, there are quarterbacks who went up to the Canadian League and did fine and do that. I would like to have seen his last 3 games just to rub it in Vrabel's face if he could have come out there and played really good.
You know who I feel sorry for? Mike Vrabel. Like, I'm watching him yesterday.
Not at all.
And, I mean, I'm saying that very facetiously, but I'm watching him yesterday, and I'm just going, that is a dude that is just like, get this the bleep over with. Like, get this season done. He just looks done.
Yeah. Well, he'll be refreshed when he's in New England next year.
He's not going to be in New England next year. He's going to be back here.
Okay.
He's going to be back here. The seat's going to be hot when he's back here.
If they can work a deal out, he's gone. He's gone.
I don't think so. I don't think she'll do it. Here's what everybody wants to say. Oh, yeah, they could trade him New England and all that stuff. Amy Adams-Strunk has to agree to do it, and I don't think she's going to.
Okay.
I think she is going to be so and to be 100% honest with you, I think that if they offer, you know, this year's first especially because it's going to be a top 3 pick, if you get 2 firsts and a second or whatever the Gruden deal was, you take it all day long.
Yeah.
I mean, I totally take it. I think she's going to remain too loyal.
All right. Well, we'll see.
That's what I think is going to happen. Because Vrabel to play this right, you know, now they're going to have their one-on-one meeting, and he's going to have to be honest with her on, yeah, I want to be here, or no, I don't. But
what if she grants the wish, says you can go? He's gone.
But she better get something back for it.
Of course she will. And I think Kraft will give whatever he needs for that. Well, this will play out in the next month. Well, it'll play out. You wait and see, buddy. It'll all play out.
We betting another lunch?
Yeah, we'll bet another lunch. You owe me 3 lunches, so we'll just knock down to 2.
We owe the morning show a lunch.
Yeah, we'll get to those guys. They never show up to work in here anyway, so it's not like we got to see them or anything and do all that. All right, so I want to throw this out there, our question of the day.
Yeah. Let's get to it.
Have you finished your Christmas shopping, yes or no? And if you wait to the last second, what is the best place to go get gifts? I haven't even started, right? That's my Martin Riggs from Lethal Weapon. He's like, you finished? I haven't even started. My advice to you men out there, Walgreens gift cards. It's a winner every year. Now, is it lackadaisical, or as some athletes say, lack of daisy? Is it lack of daisy? Yes, it is. But it's also the thought that counts. Are you done shopping, or are you going to wait to the last second? I need to know. Chaser, are you done?
Pretty much, yeah.
You are?
Well, I got a couple of little things to grab, but like the bulk of it's done, yeah.
Did you go through Amazon?
I did some on Amazon, and I did some the old-fashioned way.
You actually got out of your car and walked in.
I did. I had ordered it online, and I walked in and picked it up. But yeah,
I got it. Yeah.
That's what I was going in to get a gift, and I saw Hal Gill.
That's great. Right. Like my daughter's coming to town and my son-in-law. I haven't gotten her anything, and it's my daughter. And my son, I got him. Do you
want to go to the office supply closet and see if you can find anything?
Yeah, can I do that?
Get her a stapler.
I might give my son this Apple Collision Center helmet and say, "Here you go, buddy." All right, that's our question. I need to know, folks. I need to know.
Come on back, Stan. There you go.
Yeah, you're right. Hey, Stan.
I think you should do that. I think you should go look in the office supply closet and see if you can find something nice.
Here's some nice pins. It's like when Burns came over for the watching the Legal Cable episode on The Simpsons. And Homer opens the door, Burns is there, and he shuts the door and he grabs all the pins and cups that he stole from the power plant. That's what it'd be like.
615-737-1025. If you finish your Christmas shopping, we'll get your answers after we talk to Greg Wyshynski. We'll get the latest around the NHL And, of course, with the Nashville Predators, we'll do that next. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3, The Game. Chasing Big Joe, presented by Regal Realty Group here on 102.5, 106.3 The Game. He's Big Joe. I'm Chase McCabe. Let's say hello to Greg Wyshynski from ESPN, talking some NHL. Greg, good morning. How are you?
Doing well. Happy holidays to everybody, as I'm sure everybody is completely focused on what they're doing work-wise and not looking at the calendar right now.
Oh, no, not at all. Yeah, I walked down our hallway and I didn't see anybody. I saw tumbleweeds going through the hallway. So,
dude, like we put out the new edition of our podcast that dropped today, and like sometimes I look at the numbers and stress over them. I'm like, who's even checking this out today, man? It's Christmas. Like everybody is completely checked out. They're all stressed out. If you're like me, you probably have at least 15% of your presents you still have to buy. So it's fine. Everybody's heads are in different places right now.
So that's our question of the day. Have you completed your Christmas shopping? And
Is it really?
Yeah. So it sounds like you have not.
No, I don't. And so it's also gotten to the point where so my mom is a very early shopper, right? And so like I'll get a text from her in like September that's like, what do you want for Christmas? Or like, what does your daughter want for Christmas? I'm just like, Ma, it ain't Halloween. It's not even like Labor Day, right? Like I cannot be that. I'm a deadline oriented guy. I'm a writer. Like I cannot be that forward thinking. And so she gets her whole thing wrapped up by like, opening night of the NHL season. And meanwhile, like I'm definitely going to a store tomorrow to figure out like a few more gifts for my family. So yeah, I don't think I'm alone. Like I think there is a last minute sort of thing. I mean, you got to be forward thinking when it comes to certain items that might like sell out or not be able to get to your house in time. But I don't know, the rush, the energy of finding that perfect gift, and it's like December 23rd. I don't know, man. Like I'm down with it.
Sometimes it just happens that way, and that's what you have to do. You have on ESPN.com your trade tiers, as we're not quite to trade season, but it's getting close. After the first of the year, we'll start getting towards the deadline. Obviously, the Predators are shopping Tyson Barrie, as that's kind of been an odd situation here. But when do you think the first shoe will drop when it comes to a big trade in the NHL?
I have a feeling it's going to have to come from Calgary. They're a team obviously that's been sniffing around the bubble and they've been competitive and stuff. But I don't think anybody has any disillusions about them being like a cup contender, right? And so they've got guys on expiring contracts, and Noah Hanifin and Chris Tanev and Elias Lindholm. And in the case of Lindholm, they've got one of the most coveted players that could be available at the deadline. The Colorado Avalanche have made no secret the fact that they love him to be potentially a second-line center behind Nathan MacKinnon. The Bruins have been fond of Lindholm through the years as well. So, like, there's going to be suitors for him. There's going to be really good teams that have a need for him. And I think also just, like, rare is the player that has the total package of defense and offense like Lindholm has. They could pull a pretty good return for him if, in fact, it comes down that A, they feel comfortable being a seller, and B, they're confident that he's not going to resign there.
Barry Trotz, Predators GM, was on our afternoon show on Tuesday and was asked about, he had a plan going into this season, and I think we'd all agree that, and he even said it, that he feels like his team's a little ahead of where he thought they were going to be at this point. And so does that change how he looks at the deadline? I think there's other GMs that, probably are going to think that way. But when you look at the Predators' current roster, and he said if he could add, it'd be for offense and secondary scoring. As you look at their roster, what do you think that their biggest need would be? And is there somebody that stands out that could fit this roster?
No, man. The tiers, you can check out the tiers to see exactly what forwards could be available. And there are some that are pretty interesting, especially from sort of a depth perspective. We don't have like a lot of super blockbuster name players like we had at the deadline last year, outside of potentially Steven Stamkos. But I think Barry's pretty right on that as far as what the needs are and where they could use a little bit more help, especially with the way that Andrew Brunette has them playing. I mean, they've been good offensively, and I think the more potential goal scorers you could add to that roster, the better. But with an idea, of course, like you said off the top, that you don't want to go all in on a season where you might not need to go all in, and could be content with the trajectory of what was supposed to be a young team this year.
We're talking to Greg Wyshynski. He is ESPN's senior NHL writer.
Greg, not that anybody cares about Ottawa. Why the hell are they 6 games behind games played than everybody else in the league?
Building availability, schedules. They also, it's a great question. And it's one of those deals where when they made the firing of DJ Smith, I think everybody looked at where they were in the standings and like, that's a last place team. And it's like, hold up, their points percentage is better than like 3 other teams in the East just because they haven't played enough games. And, there was a school of thought that they were going to keep DJ Smith around for the full season because they're just going to hire a new GM. He's going to obviously fire DJ Smith or not offer the option on his contract next summer if he'd stuck around. But I think, it's hard to not look at the results for teams like Edmonton and Minnesota, the other teams that have made changes this year behind the bench, and think that you might be able to capture lightning in a bottle and get back into this thing. And part of the reason why is that they had so much runway ahead of them in having, upwards of like 6 or 7 games in hand on some of the teams they're chasing in the division. So, yeah, it's a schedule anomaly, but I think it probably did play into why they ultimately decided to fire DJ Smith this week.
Very interesting. All right, we're about 10 games, 11 games away from the halfway point of the season. It's always a good time to see what team needs to start kicking it in, or they could be done here in a few weeks. Not done, but be so far behind the way to get back in the playoff chase could be something just monumental.
It's definitely the Penguins. Like the Penguins are a team that is still trying to find its identity. They're still trying to climb up the standings. They're still trying to find consistency. They're that team this year that it just seems like whenever something goes right, another part of the team goes wrong, and they just cannot seem to get rolling. And they're the thing about them that's interesting. There's other teams that are struggling. The Devils in particular also need to get going, but they're a team whose window to win, the Devils, is pretty well open for the next several years. You can't say the same thing about the Penguins. So if they don't look like a playoff team, then it gets kind of interesting insofar as how they approach, say, the trade deadline. You got a guy like Jake Gensel, for example, who's an accomplished offensive player, a really solid winger, can easily slide into somebody's top 6 somewhere, who's got an expiring contract. And, if you're the Penguins and you start to kind of think about, all right, maybe we can't win with this core, do you start thinking about peeling off some of the assets that you have and changing the complexion of the team and thinking about the next phase? Because that's also part of GM Kyle Dubas's job there. It's not only to try to build a winner around Crosby, Malkin, Letang, and now Carlson. It's also to kind of think about what's next for that franchise.
Where did you have Arizona in your preseason picks? And somebody needs to tell them that they shouldn't be playing this well, right?
I had them pretty high, to be honest with you, because I thought there was a chance that they could be a bubble team. I thought there was a chance that their coach might get a little Jack Adams love because of how they played. They were a pesky group last year, and they've got something that a lot of teams in the West don't have, which is goaltending. And they got two really good goaltenders there. Mullet magic is real. They play really well there, and they made some smart veteran additions in the offseason that have paid off. And I also thought that the arrival of Logan Cooley would have a pretty big effect, and he's been all right this year. So, they had a lot of things kind of pushing in their direction. But the real story for them is how bad the conference is. I talked about it on the drop today. The Eastern Conference going into Wednesday night had, I think it was 12 teams or 13 teams above 500, and in the West you had 8. So there's a huge disparity right now in the quality of the two conferences. And if you're the Arizona Coyotes, you're better than 4, maybe 5 teams in your conference. So it shouldn't be too much of a surprise they're making the push they're making.
Talking to Greg Wyshynski from ESPN. When you watch the Predators and specifically Philip Forsberg, do you feel like you're seeing the Forsberg that everybody thought he was going to be?
So are we making the argument that he hasn't been the Forsberg? Because he's had some really good seasons.
Of course he has, but I feel like he's found that next level that I know everybody was like, he's good, but there's another tier, and it feels like he's getting to that. And I think the head coach has a lot to do with it.
It has everything to do with it. I mean, you could honestly say that this is the first time in his career that Forsberg has had a guy who puts a premium on offense versus defense as his coach. And, certainly I think that was part of the thinking for Barry Trotz, was the idea that not only hiring Andrew Brunette was kind of in keeping with the way the league is going right now and the trend for the league, which is very much an offensive trend, but also could benefit the players that were on the roster that he knew could break out, could have great offensive seasons, and it certainly has benefited Forsberg.
Yes, indeed, for sure. Greg, appreciate it as always. Happy holidays to you and the family, and we will talk to you next week.
Much appreciated. Happy holidays, everybody.
Absolutely. Greg Wyshynski, ESPN, joins us every Thursday at 9:30 to talk some hockey. And yeah, I've been asking a lot of people that question about Forsberg, and I feel like it all comes back to Andrew Brunette. And
right.
Jared asked Barry Trotz pretty much point blank on Tuesday of, when you made the coaching change, was Forsberg really the catalyst behind it? And he kind of answered it, but I think I think that's the truth.
Well, last year it wasn't a great year, right? I mean, I
got
don't
hurt.
Pay attention to every single thing he does, but exactly. So it's wasn't a great year, whether he get hurt or not.
He got hurt, but he wasn't having like a Forsberg. He had scored 40 goals a year before, and then wasn't really. He wasn't
but
on
watching
pace for
the
that.
confidence he exudes now is fantastic. And I asked that Arizona question because is it me or since Arizona and Phoenix where they were, they've always given the Preds fits, right?
Mm-hmm.
Forever. When they were awful, they gave the team fits. Did they knock him out in 20, the COVID year?
It was in the bubble.
Yeah. And then, of course,
the play-in series.
Yeah, back to 2012 and all that stuff that went on. It's like they always give, and they're right on the Preds' tail, too. So I was like, they need to understand that they're not good, and that they need to be told that and read the memo.
Yeah.
And go backwards.
That's such a fascinating situation, too, because, like you said, they're overachieving, they're playing well, and they're playing in an arena that holds like 15,000 people. Or not even that, 5,000 people. Like they're playing in a college arena, and I would love to see that situation get figured out, but that's also been one of those things that the NHL has been trying to save for 10 years.
We should have asked Greg about Malik Willis, about he should start or not.
Yes, indeed. We'll get to some answers of our question of the day. Have you finished Christmas shopping? You just heard Greg Wyshynski. He has not.
Smart man.
Joe hadn't even started. I haven't finished, but I got the bulk of it done. So I'm almost there. 615-737-1025. That's our phone and text line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Hey, bowl season is back. 102.5, 106.3, and 94.9 The Fan is your home for college bowl games and the college football playoff presented by Twin Peaks and Parman Tractor and Equipment. You can catch the Boca Raton Bowl tonight at 6:30 on 94.9 The Fan as South Florida takes on Syracuse. For a full list of games carried on 102.5 The Game and 94.9 The Fan, just check out our website at thegamenashville.com/bowl games. Thank you, Nick Frazier. Thank you, Dr. Crane. Yeah, I've been listening to our wonderful shows here on 102.5, 106.3 The Game, and I'm like, I need to hear some Christmas music. Bump it in. I hear the same stuff.
Right.
Like, let's hear some Christmas music.
Dr. Crane, you could play my favorite entertainer is Dean Martin. You can play Dean Martin all day.
You want to know a funny comment that I made in the second grade? So I had a family friend of mine, my buddy Alex. His mom asked, who do I love most when it comes to music? I said the greatest of all time is Dean Martin. Yeah. In the second grade.
That's impressive.
So
that's good parenting.
Yeah. Dean Martin, Dean Martin's one of my favorite of all time to sing.
So mine's Sinatra. I love Sinatra. I mean, I just love the Rat Pack. But if you want to play some Sinatra and Dean Martin, even them together, I will be all for that.
Thank you.
What's the song they did together? Marshmallow World.
I'm trying to think.
I think that's one they did together. I mean, they did a lot together, but I think that's one they did together.
My favorite Dean Martin quote: "You're not drunk if you can lie on the floor without holding on."
That is a good one,
man. So anytime you want to throw Dean Martin, we will shut our mouth.
Yeah, but I think for the rest of the show today and the entire show tomorrow, you have my blessing for all Christmas music.
Thank you, sir.
Holiday music.
Yeah. Christmas music. 1545. Thank you. This is Merry Christmas. Enjoy starting my day with you all. Well, thank you very much.
Hey, we appreciate that.
We enjoy starting our day with you.
Ben says, our question of the day, are you finished Christmas shopping? 615-737-1025. We're going to do stuff like this tomorrow because nobody's working tomorrow. We're going to have fun tomorrow.
Correct.
Aaron Weber, comedian's going to be in the studio with us tomorrow.
For almost a whole hour.
So we'll have some fun with that. But Ben says, I am not done shopping. All I have is 2 gifts left, and it's going to be alcohol.
Oh, nice.
That's easy.
I did have to use Amazon for one gift I bought because they guaranteed it would be here before Christmas, and it came yesterday. So,
good.
Some are like, hey, we'll get to you in January. I'm like, that's not what I really needed, but thanks.
No.
I do White Elephant?
I have. I'm not this year.
Not a fan?
I mean, I'm a fan. I'm just not doing that this year.
Of a what?
I have no friends.
White Elephant gifts.
What is that?
It's like gag gifts.
I guess I don't have any friends. I've never heard of
so there's a lot of different. So the White Elephant is like you go to a party and it can be a gag gift or something under $20.
Like Dirty Santa?
Yeah, it's like a Dirty Santa, and then you can steal and everything.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I had no idea this existed.
So
White Elephant. God, I'm a loser.
So a few years ago, Ricky and I went to our friend.
Here we go, Ricky story.
I know. Sorry. Went to our friend. It's your fault. You introduced us.
You're right.
We went to our friend Amber's family's Christmas, and so I went. He didn't go, and so they were like, you got to take a gag gift or something for the White Elephant, Dirty Santa. So I went and had a picture of Ricky, Amber, and I framed, and that was it. And like they were fighting over that more than anything.
Nice.
It was the funniest thing ever. I think her brother ended up with it, but. It was very, very good.
Oh, goodness.
Another Ben says, I completed my Christmas shopping and had everything delivered and wrapped by Thanksgiving. Completely stress-free process. Ben.
Nice, Ben.
That's too organized. That is way too organized.
Yeah, I can't process that. I can't, not that far ahead. I can't do it, so I'm sorry.
Marlon in Murfreesboro, going to finish Christmas shopping tomorrow on payday. Being the outcast uncle means dollar scratch-offs for all and 20% if it wins. I love that. Dave says, when it comes to Christmas shopping, I like to let fate decide. You never know what great deals and gifts are going to be found on Christmas Eve. # Christmas miracles.
Yes. Good job on that one there. To me, I know the gift cards are kind of lazy, I get, but, a gift card's better than nothing, right? I mean, you could figure it out. I like gift cards.
My favorite was I would call my dad on Christmas Eve because, I'd be out of school or just kind of chilling at the house, getting ready for, something that night. My mom's side of the family, we did a lot on Christmas Eve. And I'd call my dad and I go, hey, what are you doing? I'd hear like all this hustling and bustling in the background, and I'd hear in his voice like just the stress level. And he's like, I'm at Walmart. I don't know why I'm at Walmart right now, but I'm at Walmart. And thought he was going to just hit somebody.
UPS is still working tomorrow. This is from 7432. Looking forward to listening to you guys on my way in. Now, you guys are going to make me cry this morning.
Oh, we appreciate it.
Thank you so much, 7432, and God bless you for the work you do and getting all the packages delivered and having dogs chase you, which is really good.
Shane in the Borough says, Joe, you are not a loser. You're a great guy and well-loved by a lot of people. If you ever need to talk, just reach out, brother.
Well, thank you.
Thank you,
I don't
Shane.
know what a white elephant was. I was like, did I miss Animal Kingdom with Marlon Perkins as a kid? What's going on here? But now when you said Dirty Santa, that makes sense.
9302, I don't even shop. My mother-in-law does it for me. Then I pick what I want to give her and just pay her the money.
That's, you know what? Whatever
That's awesome.
Expedites everything, and that sounds like that's a pretty good way to do that.
Oh, that's fantastic.
You know what's funny is that, we got our moms growing up awful gifts, right? We did.
Yeah.
Because they'd give us $25, we'd go and but, at least I know your mom, my mom, I'm sure Dr. Crane's mom, and all moms acted like the gift that we gave them, which was garbage, was like giving them gold.
Yep.
And they never.
Because it was to them.
Yeah. But it was all, thinking back now, I was like, I got my mom like Stetson perfume for men. When I had something stupid.
It's funny now.
She's like, thank you, honey.
My mom's like, she'll tell me a few things that she wants, but then she's like, don't spend a lot on me. And every year I have to go do something, the surprise, or, I pay attention of, okay, she's mentioned this a few times, or there's something that's, so, and I love that look on her face that is both joy and I'm pissed at you for spending this amount of money on me all at the same time.
That's what moms do. Now, do you get her a card? I haven't bought a card. I didn't buy a card.
I don't get her a card for Christmas usually.
Right.
I'll do that for like Mother's Day or a birthday or something like that. But
yeah, I'm not a card guy, man. With my kids, I was like, no, I'll pass on all that. So I don't do all that. But it was great. I wrote this story last night on my blog, BigJoeOnTheGo.com, shameless plug, about growing up here. There was Castronauts in Donaldson, and I've gotten thousands of responses to this thing. So thank you guys about special places growing up that we went. Castronauts in Donaldson was two-tiered. You buy your presents there, and these elegant kind of older ladies who were beautiful. I mean, and they've all passed away now, but it's this memory of going down there and watching them wrap your gifts and how they carried themselves. It was amazing, and I was so thankful I had that growing up. But it was every small town in America had all that. So thanks, everybody, for weighing in and giving me your memories about all that, because it really is really was a special time growing up here.
Have you ever had to do the Homer Simpson where, you realize it's your anniversary or a holiday or a birthday or something, and you go, yeah, it's in the car, and run down the stairs and then speed out of the driveway?
No, I haven't done that. Yeah. Thankfully, not doing all that. But that's the things, like getting it done. I'll have to go. Like my daughter's coming to town. She's only here right now, so this afternoon I have to go buy something. She is not.
She should be.
She should. Well, she lives 8 hours away.
Well, got the app.
She does have the app. Yeah. But no, I'll have to go and I got my son-in-law something already that we picked up in Miami. Free shirt, wink, wink. Dr. Crane's got the same gift that my son-in-law's got. So
that's great.
Terrible. I'm so sorry.
That's right.
I'm so sorry about that. Did you get one, Chase, or no?
Yeah, I got a couple, and they're going to be gifts.
Well, for those who don't know, Chase and I went to the Miami Titans games, and before the game, they handed out these really cool athletic shirts, right, Dr. Crane? I mean, Dr. Crane.
They're very nice.
Thank you.
Dry fit.
And so a girl says, you want one? I said, can I have a couple? She's like, you can have the whole box. I want to go home. She gives me this entire box, and she leaves.
So we walk into the press box with all the Titans media holding all these shirts.
I've got like 60 shirts in my book bag and on me, and so I hide them, but I've given them all out. So, Dr. Crane, you're welcome.
There you go.
Thank
That's
you
a good
much.
one. Coming up next, we're going to talk to MTSU head football coach Derek Mason as signing day was one of the signing days was yesterday. We'll get his thoughts on his first class at MTSU. We'll do that next. Chase and Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Hour number 2, Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. We're going to be joined by MTSU head football coach Derek Mason here in just a few minutes, get his thoughts on his first recruiting class, first early signing day at Middle Tennessee State University. So looking forward to that.
I love the thank you all for following me on my rant today about the TV people say it's the shortest day of the year when it's not. And I did the rant the last hour, so a lot of people are on my side. Thank you for that. Call out these TV people when they tell you that today is the shortest day of the year. It's the shortest daylight of the year. Why this bothers me so much, I don't know, but it does. So when you see, if you go on Twitter or Facebook and they do all this.
Well, Ian Safar just had some fun with you.
He did. So, Ian, I'll be here at 2 when you get here. We'll have a little talk.
Steven from Hendersonville, the Homer Simpson reference is a total rookie move. I have 5 of each birthday, anniversary, and Mother's Day cards along with $1,000 gift cards. I'm set for half a decade.
Steven, you're
That's
the best.
awesome.
Yes, you are the best.
Well
Other
done.
question we had is, are you done Christmas shopping? Or are you going to wait till Christmas Eve? And then I typically wait till Christmas Eve, and that's the way people get it done. It's what we all like studying for a paper in college, writing a paper in college. Did you ever do it 4 weeks out?
So, yeah, and guess what?
Oh.
No, well, hang on.
Okay.
Hang on. Most of the time, I was procrastinating to the point of it might have been 8 o'clock the next morning, and I'm still finishing it. And I would get, like, a B.
Nice.
I do all right. Yeah, I mean, because I was just, BSing and great under pressure. The one time that I actually worked ahead and did it like 2 weeks ahead of time, I got like a C-. And I said, I'm never doing this again.
Good
and
for
my
you.
mom used to always be like, you got to work ahead. You got to work. She's a teacher.
She's smart.
You got to work ahead. And I'm like, I am better under pressure. And to this day, like that's how I work. Like I'm better under pressure because I don't think about it and I just do it. And
you.
so I got my best grades when I'd wait to the last minute.
And that's how.
And I'm sure every teacher that's listening to this right now is going like,
Like,
no wonder.
Stop it. No, I waited. You know who probably did their assignment the day they got it? Dr. Crane.
Maybe. Sometimes.
you were probably, I mean, and I don't mean this in a bad way, but you were probably that kid.
Well, no, I was not that kid. I know what you're talking about. I was
No,
not
he
that
was.
kid.
He
No.
was.
No, when I was at college, just put it that way, at MTSU, I just knew like if I flunked something, I knew I would not be able to come home. So I had to make sure I got good grades.
I
That's-
guarantee you were
That's
the
Joe's
kid.
first trip to Key West.
You're the kid in junior high who brought the apple in every day and sit on the teacher's desk, didn't you?
No, actually not.
Don't ruin this narrative of me.
I'm not going
You know
to
what?
be
That
put
was
down.
that could have been Keezer.
I'm not going to be put down as this middle school nerd. I didn't have glasses in middle school until about the 8th grade. So I mean, I was a wonderful kid that enjoyed to play football, basketball, and occasionally looked at the books.
Look, I like this. He's bowing up back there. I like
Yeah.
this.
We didn't say you were a nerd. We said you're a good kid.
Well, the Apple thing, it comes off as nerdy.
Okay.
He didn't like that.
I'll let my grandpa
Dr.
know.
Crane, I like that too.
Thank you.
I'm with you.
I will say my social studies teacher, Mr. Purnell, back in the 7th grade,
Russ Purnell?
hey, he called me the chairman. I don't know why, but I always got D's on his test. It made no sense.
But
Call
you got
me
a
the
lot of
chairman.
D's.
He was a military man.
Hey, I
so-
just look. C's get degrees. I'm just saying.
Chase got a lot of D's, too.
D's what?
D, come on, man. D's in class.
Nah.
I told
mean, it
Mike.
depends on what it was.
As we're waiting on Derek Mason to call in.
Yeah, we're in as George Plaster likes to say, a four-corner stall.
We're in a holding pattern. Now, hold on now. Derek, do you know Fred Pancoast? He was a friend of mine. Now, Watson, what would you do here on that play? Well, George, I'd probably lose the game. Sorry. Oh, man, we're having a
What
good
would
time.
Woody? You got a Woody? Hang on.
So I'd be like, oh, Willie, did you get my dry cleaning today? I get it. George kind of morphed into a Peyton Manning. He's like, Willie, did you get my dry? Man, I tell you
Elvis,
what, I was out there
George,
today, and
Peyton.
they were to cover 3, and I said, hey, man, I'm going to just throw the ball deep down the middle, and I'll be damned if Ed Reed intercepted football. And I said, I ain't tackling that man. You're crazy, man. I said, Sonny Red, he tackled him. I ain't doing it. Oh, good
And then
times.
Jeff Fisher walked in.
Yeah. Well, we got to play harder, play faster, ball down the field more, see what happens.
Oh,
I watched the other night when he
Waiting
got,
for a text. We're gonna talk more Titans.
I got I went on the YouTube night and watched when Fisher got fired from the Rams. And
I love that video.
It's just very nonchalant. It's like,
Here's my favorite part of that video.
right?
It's Fossil's son, but
Yeah, John
Yeah.
Fossil, is that it? Yeah.
well, I think it's his John Fossil's the dad.
Is it Jim?
Or Jim Fossil. Yeah, okay, so it's John. You're
Yeah.
right. So it is John Fossil. His reaction, like he's sitting there in a chair and he's like leaned up on the desk and he's like paying attention to every word, and then Jeff says that he got fired, and he just like he jumps back.
Right.
Like he's so flabbergasted and shocked, which I'm like, did you really not see this coming? Like,
Oh,
did you
man.
miss this? You
Yeah.
know, but that's my favorite part. And then I think he was named the interim.
I don't remember.
I think he was,
but
but now he's the special teams coach in Dallas, and he's a fantastic special teams coach. But
are you watching Hard Knocks at all?
I watched the first couple of episodes, and I haven't watched the Titans episode yet. I need to catch up.
I've watched it was good because it wasn't they know they have a microphone on him now, right? So it's not fun. It's not
Right.
off the cuff. It's
too
not
controlled.
improv. Yeah, it's very scripted, I think, in a way. And I just watched the last one when the Titans smacked the Dolphins. There was a little reaction to that, but it was more they know they're mic'd up. It's not fun anymore.
It's those shows like Hard Knocks and the NHL did one, like Road to the Stanley Cup or whatever it was. They were awesome when it first started because it was new and it was a different concept, and they weren't as guarded because like I think half the time they'd forget they were mic'd up. And then now, coaches are so paranoid about anything getting out that everything is so controlled.
Right.
Like everybody says, I would love to see the Patriots and Belichick. No, you wouldn't.
No.
He
Not
would
at all.
control. Like everybody's like, I'd love to see the Titans of Vrabel. No, you wouldn't. He'd control it too much.
Exactly. Like Last Chance U on Netflix, the first year.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
Right.
Because the guys didn't know what was going on. The second year, once it came out and they knew what was going on, everybody played to the camera. It was like, this is awful. This is awful TV. Didn't watch it after that.
Yeah.
No more.
And so, I mean, that's kind of what it is now. So that's why Jonathan says C's do not get degrees. I know from experience.
Yeah, they do. Trust
Depends
me.
on what kind of degree you're looking.
You know what the guy who finishes last in medical school is called? Doctor. So that's whether you finish first or last, you're still called doctor, right?
That's a
when you
very
go to your
good point.
doctor, you ask him what his GPA is.
No.
I don't. Nobody
Hi,
does.
I'm Dr. Peabody. Look, I had a 2.7 GPA.
Do you-
I barely made it out of medical school.
If
but
you knew your doctor's GPA, would you go to
I'll
him?
be fixing your heart today.
If you knew your doctor got out of med school with a 2.2, would you go? Would you still go to him? I would.
That's a really good question.
I like my doctor.
Probably.
He's I've never once thought about what's your GPA. He's a good doctor. He's a good man. Love my doctor.
I mean, I'm one of those that like I like humor, and so like I remember when my dad was sick, he was having a procedure, and the doctor came in and was like, basically making a joke.
Yeah.
Of just like, I'm hitting 50-50 right now, and I'm like, what?
Yeah, right. Put the tension out of the room.
But exactly, and that's what it is, because it's like you're in a tough situation, and like he knew like my dad was sick
Right.
and all that stuff, and it's like we both started laughing, like, okay,
Yeah.
well,
And you remember a good moment, which probably took away from a lot of
Right.
crappy moments.
right.
Yeah.
So I do appreciate like doctors and people in that field that
Sure.
they know when to be serious, but they also know when to have some humor. Like our pilot, when we were coming back from Miami,
Yeah.
like I loved that. He was like making jokes and like raise your hand, and then he's like, oh yeah, well I can't see anybody. And,
Yeah, he was.
it's like I like just have fun.
Have a
with
little
what you're
humor
doing.
with
Yeah.
it, because some of the flight attendants do that as well. They have fun.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
it was a good time, and I think the humor could take a lot out of all that. But I've never once gone and said, "Hey, your anatomy class, did you pass that? Did
Yeah.
you? How are we doing on that?" No, man, not at all. Nothing.
Do you know where the elbow is?
Yeah, can you do all that? But no, that's the thing is that we you like who you have a good feeling about all that. So plus all the way these texts are rolling in about Christmas gifts, and a lot of you still haven't started. I love this. Thank you for that. Making me feel much better.
615-737-1025. We'll see if we can catch up with Derek Mason at some point before we get out of here, or we may just bring our Derek Mason in early and have him pretend and talk about MTSU's recruiting class. More coming in here on the Chase and Big Joe Show, presented by Regal Realty Group, 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
Mike, for you, what's the importance of these last three games in terms of building some momentum going into the offseason? Holding guys?
Yeah, I don't want to do any of that right now, Gentry. The momentum has to be built on today, and build on getting guys ready to play. We're going to be thin when we get out there today, we'll see where it is and see who's available. That's really the only focus and evaluation is on this football team and the guys that we have available right now.
There it is. Little Dean Frank. That was Mike Vrabel yesterday talking about building some momentum into next season, chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Do you buy into that of trying to build – I look at it more as confidence than anything with the young players that you know are going to be back next year. Vrabel wants to focus on the day. That's very – a lot of coaches are that way. That's coach speak. Focus on the now.
Right. Yeah.
But I do think you have to look ahead to the future a little bit. And that's why I was so adamant on Tannehill, because more so for the development of the other players and not so much for the quarterback position. But we'll agree to disagree on that. But
so Burks catches 2 passes this week instead of 1? Give me a break, man. No, I do.
Well, I mean, he.
Right. But yeah, why not play some? You've got nothing to lose. You're out of it. Play different guys and go out there and see what. Why can't Colton Dowell play? You drafted him as a receiver.
He's been, play
him at receiver. I mean, they like
playing
special
NWI is
teams.
on IR, so I mean, I would say there's a good chance of that.
See what he can do. 3 games, like, man, this guy's got some talent. This is live reps. Go out and let these guys do it on Sunday. Now, don't punt from your 8-yard line. I get all that stuff, but go for it if you're at midfield. Do different things. Have some fun. There's no pressure. There's no pressure. You're out of the playoffs now, and don't give me the garbage about draft choices because, like we said on the show, are you happy that or you think this team can go out and front office can draft somebody decent? I don't, but who knows? But you fall where you fall. Go out and have fun and play ball. I mean, it's just too much nonsense talking around this game and this and that. Just go out and play and have fun. My goodness.
So they put Nick Westbrook-Akina on IR yesterday. He's been here 4 years, and he's a guy that averages, probably 400 yards a season, something like that. He had a little bit of a down year this year at 370. Is he somebody you'd like to bring back?
Sure.
Good role player?
Yep.
I think so, too.
Why not? Who's better out there in that role of the 4th receiver, 3rd receiver than him? Bring him in.
I think so, too. He's a good role player.
Yeah.
And you need those.
He's had some nice games. I don't know the hate for him that goes on there. It's ridiculous.
I mean, he's, he's going to get you 350 to 400 yards a year, 3 or 4 touchdowns, make some big plays for you. You need guys like that, guys you can trust. So I would bring him back. I'm the same way. But when I saw that yesterday, I was like, I wonder if that's somebody they look at and bring him back. I'd look at Chris Moore too. I mean, he's not. You got to have depth at that position, and I agree with you on Colton Dowell. See what you got there, but. You're going to have your top 2 guys, and right now, as it stands, next year that's DeAndre Hopkins and then a player to be named later because I don't think it's Treylon Burks.
Would you put Skoronski at left tackle with his last 3 games?
I would, but there is no chance in hell that Vrabel's going to do that.
I know.
And it's funny. Teron and I kind of talked about it last night, and they have not tried him at all. Like, they're just steadfast that they think he's going to be a really, really, really good left guard in the National Football League.
Okay. All right.
But you got to find him help. Like, if you believe that, then you got to go find a left tackle that you believe can be an all-pro left tackle, I think. Because you just got to be strong on that left side. If they fix – okay, I'm going to ask – I'm not going to say this is a statement. I'm going to ask you the question because I think you know offensive line. If they fix left tackle and center for next year, and that's it, that's those 2 positions, but they nail both of them, how big of a difference does that make?
Not much. You got to have 5 up front. 5 have to be pushing and pulling the same way. If you get a left tackle, great, I'll just overload the right side.
Okay, but let's say that, Brunskill hasn't been bad. He's been okay. At right guard.
Is that what you want? You want okay's okay?
He's been serviceable. Okay. So let's say it's Brunskill and then Petit Frere at guard and right tackle. And then you have a stud at left tackle and a stud at center and then Skoronski, who we think can be a stud at left guard.
I mean, you can build it. I mean, it helps. I don't think it solves everything. I think you could have all 5 up there.
Yeah.
You have to have all 5 pushing the same way if you got a great
left tackle. Because I think the right side's going to look the same. I think it's going to be Brunskill and Petit Frere, and they're going to focus on the left side and the center.
Petit Frere's not.
He's not very good, but I'm just telling you what I think.
How do you look at somebody in college like Petit Frere who did above average in college?
Yeah.
Just become so below average in the NFL. I mean, is that coaching?
I think, yeah. I mean, I think coaching has something to do with it. But also, like this, I would love to see Mike Munchak come back and be the O-line
Stop.
coach.
He's
hang on, let me finish. He's not going to. But I'd love to see it. But this narrative that Mike Munchak is going to come in and look at Dylan Radunz and turn him into Benji Olsen is just – or Brad Hopkins or Michael Roos is just I want whatever's in your eggnog. Like it's not going to happen. I mean, and Munch would probably tell you that. Like, he'd be like, look, you can polish a turd all you want. It's still a turd.
Hey, man, easy on that. For some reason, I'm looking up the 2020 draft about Isaiah Wilson, and it's so frustrating. Had he been who they thought he was and who thought he could be, how we're not having this conversation right now. You know, I mean, how it's –
Oh, yeah.
If Isaiah Wilson came in, did really well, then Skoronski at left guard. I mean, then you start building that map. Look at the Eagles' offensive line; it's fantastic because they built all that with Kelsey and Lane Johnson, everybody. I mean, it's a great offensive line, and people don't care about the offensive line until they care about it. Does that make sense? You don't care about it,
Right?
You don't care about 2019. You care about 2020.
Nope.
But when these guys are not good, you're like, wow, what's going on here? Then you care about it, and then it becomes something else. And I'll just look at a couple of picks after, had they not taken Isaiah Wilson. Now you play this game. I'm not going to do it all day long, but there's no like big linemen that stand out after they took Isaiah Wilson. 2 picks later, they took Chiefs took Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
So I've done it. You've made me do this. I blame you.
Yeah.
Chris Trapasso is one of the draft gurus with CBS Sports. He's already got a mock out. And, I mean, there's a ton of mock drafts. Because I'm just curious. So he has Caleb Williams, number 1 overall to the Bears. Drake May, number 2 overall to the Patriots. Marvin Harrison to the Cardinals.
Okay.
Jaden Daniels, 6 overall to the Giants. That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And then with the 9th pick – in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Tennessee Titans select Malik Neighbors, LSU. Now,
what position?
Wide receiver.
Wide receiver, okay.
And he's a stud.
He's a dog.
He is a dog. Like, if that was the pick, I'd be all for it.
Well, it's like the Bengals when they drafted Jamar Chase. It was like, you got to get him help up front. Get this one guy. And they're like, no, we'll take Jamar Chase, and then the rest is what it is. Yeah, get a good receiver.
Okay, so that's really good that you brought that up.
Thank you.
I remember that because I was like, and I didn't, I wasn't a Bengals fan or anything, but I'm looking at it from their perspective, and because who is the lineman that they ended up passing on?
He was out of Utah, I believe.
Yeah, and he's been okay. I don't think he's been great, but he's been okay.
It was Tipsy McStagger.
Yes, thank you, Barney Gumble. No, they, but. I just remember going, but he loved Jamar Chase at LSU.
Oh yeah,
and if you could replicate that in the NFL, what that would be like? Yeah, he's not going to get the same protection up front, but if you got a guy you trust, you get rid of the football fast, and that's exactly what's happened. So yeah, I mean, if the Titans pick at 8 or 9, and Malik Neighbors is there, and that's the pick, and we're talking about this right now in December, but I would love that for Will Levis to go get him a dynamic guy. You have D-Hop for 1 more year. Those two, Burks is still on the team, but he's probably the 3rd receiver.
Yeah.
Kyle Phillips, get him out of here. That hadn't worked.
No, but it's interesting to see where it lands up and this whole team ends up. But, go out and play these last couple of games and have fun and be spoilers. Knock the Seahawks out of the playoffs. Do it. Make them go home. The next week, go knock Houston out, and then maybe knock Jacksonville out. Go down the whole stretch and finish strong.
I'm kind of excited about this draft class because I think there's some good talent coming out.
Are you?
Mm-hmm.
Well, excited about that?
I am.
We should go back and look at the best draft they ever had.
Titans?
Since they've got here since '99. The best draft they ever had.
You want to do that next? I'm fine with that.
We'll go back and
I
look,
love
yeah.
this stuff.
We
That's
got
fine.
that, man. Many thanks to Derek Mason. That was a fun interview. Thanks,
yeah.
Derek.
We have Kenny Chesney tickets to give away, too.
Oh, so I have to give him another question there. Okay. All right.
Yeah. I mean, maybe we find a draft-related.
Yeah. Who's taller? A kicker or Kenny Chesney? That's right. I'm sorry. Kenny, you're listening. No, we kid about that all the time. We get all that. We'll come up with a good question here in a little bit.
We will indeed. Chasing Big Joe here on a Thursday, broadcasting live from the Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical Studios on 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game, 615-737-1025. That's our phone and text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. So we're looking at Titans draft history. You just mentioned the 98 draft during the break, which I was pretty happy with myself. I said Kevin Dyson,
Samari Roll,
Samari Roll,
Kevin Long.
Kevin Long.
All good things at that. And so we're going on the draft, and I'm looking at the 2016 draft. Robinson's first draft he had here.
Pretty good.
Conklin, Derrick Henry, Kevin Byard. We can laugh at Tajay Sharp. He had a few moments there. And then LaShawn
Dodd was a
Sims.
bust.
Remember the guy Sebastian Tretola?
Yeah.
Awful.
I ran into him in Midtown one time.
And did he say, what can I get you to drink? I mean,
No, he was cool. Aaron Wallace, Kalen Reed.
Yep.
Yep. I mean, that first one was pretty good. What's crazy is, like, you know, if you look at this Pro Football Reference, like if they're not in bold, they're not in the league anymore.
Right.
So there's 4 guys still in the league: Jack Conklin, Austin Johnson, Derrick Henry, Kevin Byard from that draft. In the next year, there's 3: Adoree Jackson, Jonnu Smith, Corey Levin.
Wow.
Levin's still here.
Yep.
Had 4 picks in 2018: Rashaan Evans, Harold Landry, Dane Cruikshank, Luke Falk.
God, Luke Falk, so terrible.
Which was a waste of a pick.
Yep.
19: Jeffrey Simmons, A.J. Brown, Nate Davis, Amani Hooker, DeAndre Walker, David Long.
Ooh, that's a good
That's a good
draft.
draft.
How many are still here? 1, 2?
Simmons and Hooker. Simmons and Hooker.
Okay. That's a
But
good
like
draft.
I was bummed. I thought DeAndre Walker was going to end up being a sneaky good pick, and he wasn't. He
Broke your heart.
flamed out. Yeah, from Georgia. And we all know 2020. Isaiah Wilson, Christian Fulton, Darrington Evans, Laurel Murchison, Cole McDonald, Chris Jackson.
Chris Jackson, the LSU basketball player, I'll
Yes.
take him over this Chris Jackson. That's awful. Where did Chris Jackson go to college?
Marshall.
Marshall. Thank you.
Yep. 2021, Caleb Farley, Dylan Radin, Monty Rice, Elijah Molden, Des Fitzpatrick, Rashard Weaver, Racy McMath, Brady Breeze.
Awful. God, that's terrible. Okay.
So let's see.
There's a reason the Titans are 5-9.
Farley's on the team. Radins is on the team, sort of. Monty Rice is gone. Molden's on the team. Fitzpatrick's gone. Weaver's still on the team. McMath is gone. Brady Breeze isn't playing.
Yeah. Terrible.
And then the next year, Traylon Burks, Roger McCreary. I think McCreary's okay.
Yeah, I don't mind him.
Petit Ferrer,
Terrible.
Malik Willis,
Yeah.
Hassan Haskins,
Who?
Chikakonkwo,
Hey.
Kyle Phillips,
What?
Theo Jackson,
Hey.
Chance Campbell.
Theo Jackson's still in the league. Is he not with the Vikings or
Yeah.
did he get cut?
I
He
think
is
he's
with
with
the
the Vikings, yeah.
Vikings.
Okay. Overton boy.
And then this year,
Lord.
Skoronski, Levis, Spears,
Spears.
Josh Wiley in the 5th round, Jalen Duncan 6th, Colton Dell. Jury's
I
still
was
out.
sold on Duncan until I saw how bad he was last Sunday.
I
mean,
know, but
bad,
I
bad.
still think he
Needs
needs
some
some
coaching.
development. Yeah, like if everything had gone the way it was supposed to, he would not
Right.
be sniffing the field right now.
Well, when he got pushed back, he didn't do the punch step. He got set, getting his feet set, and Derek Barnett got underneath him and drove him straight back into Will Levis, which was really bad. I want to go back. Also, we left somebody out of the 98 Oilers draft. They had Dyson, Samari Roll, Benji Olsen. They drafted in the 5th round. And then, of course,
I knew I
Kevin
was
Long.
forgetting somebody.
And God bless you, Derek Mason, the football player who always calls in. He saved the 97 Oilers draft. If it wasn't for Derek Mason, that draft, that class, my goodness.
So
Ew.
here's my question.
Yeah, buddy.
The bet and I will count 97 and 98. So the best first round pick of the Nashville NFL team, so the Titans, but I'll count 97, 98 because
Okay.
they were in Tennessee.
I think it's overwhelmingly 90% one guy.
I think we're thinking the same guy, Javon Curse.
Absolutely.
I think Javon Curse is the best one.
I was in the trailer in 1999 in Bellevue when they were going to pick Andy Katzenmoyer, and if they tell you they weren't, they're lying to you. That was the rage. They wanted Andy Katzenmoyer, and I think the Patriots took him before the Titans, and then boom, there was Javon Curse. And the question was, where do you play him? Does he line down? Does he stand up? And then the rest is history. And
Yep.
he just destroyed everyone. Yeah, I think it's not even close.
So Do you remember who the first pick was in '97 in that draft for the then Oilers?
Kenny Holmes.
Kenny Holmes,
Because he signed either that afternoon or the next day of practice for the Titans or the Oilers back then.
the second pick
Terrible. And I love him.
out of the University of Tennessee,
Joey Kent.
Joey Kent,
Just wasn't very good.
Denard Walker, Scott Sanderson. They had 2 third-rounders that year. Derek Mason in the 4th round, Pratt Lyons in the 4th round, George McCullough, Dennis Stallings, Amon Williams. That's your first Tennessee NFL draft class.
And I did the first interview with our own Derek Mason working in TV after the preseason game. They played the Rams over at Dudley Field, and I think Derek was returning punts then.
You left out somebody in that 98 draft that I don't think got enough credit on that 99 team. Joe Salavea. He was pretty good.
He's all right.
I like Joe Salavea.
He's coaching somewhere now.
Yeah, I
Maybe
think
he's
so.
Back in Arizona maybe or somewhere where
Yeah.
he's from.
So then you had Curse. Bullock would probably be number 2 when you're talking about
Good.
first round.
Good 10 years here. All pro level, absolutely. Chris
Yep.
Johnson was another level. But once Chris Johnson signed that contract in 2011, was it? He never was the same.
I forgot
runner.
he was a first round pick. Yeah, you're
He
right.
never was the same running back. And that was at 2000. Was it Derek Morgan 2010? They desperately wanted Jason Pierre-Paul.
Yeah,
And then I think they reached for a Derek Morgan.
that was a
pick.
reach. 2001, they didn't have a first round pick. I don't
What's-
remember why.
I don't know.
It was a trade.
They got Andre Dawson. Andre Dyson was their
Yep.
first pick. Give me 02 if I can go down the line. Let's do this again. Heisman Trophy. Let's go. 02, Hainsworth.
Hang on. Before we go to 02, do you remember the 3rd round pick in 01?
I do not.
Guy that was not great, not terrible.
Give me his college.
Kansas State.
Shad Meyer.
Yeah, good.
Yeah. Shad's
Tight
a
end.
good dude. He coaches high school football here.
Justin McCarrons, Eddie Berlin were in that draft. That was interesting. Okay, 02.
Hainsworth
Yep.
first. Okay.
Yep, he was 15th overall.
Yeah. 03. Andre Woolfolk.
Yeah, he was terrible.
Awful. 04, they did not have a pick.
Correct. They had 3 second rounders.
Was Ben Troop in that?
Yep. Travis LeBoy, Antoine Odom.
By the way, Paul Koharski has the best line ever from training camp on LeBoy. A couple years after that, had a concussion in training camp, and Paul said, "Hey, everybody, look, LeBoy is already in midseason form." We laughed. That was so. I mean, it's awful, but we laughed really good.
So the 2003 draft is had it worked out would have been awesome draft. Woolfolk, Tyrone Calico, Chris Brown. Those were the first picks.
Chris Brown would have busted 1,000 yards though.
Yeah. But I mean, like, you think about, had those 3 panned out the way that they hoped they would pan out,
Right.
and Ryan Long was in there too, but like Donnie Nicky was a good special teams guy.
Remember
But had those 3 panned out,
Yeah.
it would have been different.
Remember Calico got busted for and doing something in a car off of Demumbrian, and somebody said, "Hey, Fisher told you to score more, just not in a car. How about on the field?"
Yeah.
But he was Tyrone Calico, talent-wise,
I know he got hurt. Though.
amazing.
That was the problem. He just when he
Oh,
got
amazing.
that horse collar just ruined him.
Yep.
But I mean, he was gonna be great. I mean, and Woolfolk, I just don't know what happened with him.
No,
I thought he was going to be that shutdown corner that they had been looking for.
He was great at Oklahoma and everything.
Yeah.
05, Pac-Man. 06, Vince. 07, Michael Griffin. 08, Chris Johnson. 09, Kenny Britt.
Yep.
10, Derek Morgan. 11, Jake Locker. 12, Kendall Wright.
Yep.
13, Chance Warmack. By the way, every time I interviewed Chance Warmack, he always had grass on his face. Every time. 14 would have been, oh my goodness, JoJo. 14. I know Mettenberger's.
Come on now.
Oh, Taylor Lewan.
Yeah. And by the way, so 2014, there is 1 player still in the league from that draft, and any draft class before that, they're all out.
It's not Avery Williamson. Mettenberger's at Alabama. Lewan's, I don't know.
Daquan Jones,
Where is
4th round
he?
pick. Where is Daquan now? Buffalo?
I think the Bills, yeah.
Wow.
Daquan is with the Buffalo Bills, yeah.
I did not know that. I like that. Yeah, buddy.
I'm trying to pull the draft list back up. Sorry. It went away. You said, yeah, and then the next year was Mariota.
Yep, and then on from there. So, I mean, it's the whole thing, again, is inexact science. You get Finnegan was a 6th-round draft choice in 2006. Got to start because Donnie Nicky was suspended.
Yep.
And he got the opportunity. It's about the Bo Scaife.
Finnegan was a 7th-round pick.
7th round, sorry. Bo Scaife was a 5th-rounder out of Texas in 05 and had a nice little career before he got injured. Was it David Stewart, a 4th or 5th-rounder out of Mississippi State?
4th,
Yeah.
05.
So you could find gems and develop them. I don't see any development lately.
So that 05 4th round had one of my favorite players. Just a guy, I just liked him. He just had a lot of heart. Vincent Fuller.
Yeah.
Vinny Fuller was so the 4th round. They had 3 4th-rounders that year. Vincent Fuller, David Stewart, Roydell Williams.
Roydell Williams from Tulane. Yeah, Vinny Fuller was coaching for Penn State for a while.
Mm-hmm. And then Courtney Roby. They took a lot of receivers in that draft. 3. Courtney Roby, Brandon Jones, and Roydell Williams.
Courtney Roby. Ended up winning a Super Bowl with the Saints.
Yep, that is correct. All right, coming up next, we'll put a bow on things, give you celebrity birthdays. Also, Kenny Chesney tickets on the line. Be listening on how you can win those. That's up next. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3. The game gets you in the spirit.
He's
as
about
we wrap up the week.
4 sheets in the wind right there. Dean Martin singing.
Probably.
Yeah.
I mean,
right.
why not?
Right?
All right, let's give away some Kenny Chesney tickets. Got to answer a trivia question.
That Chase doesn't like thinks it's difficult.
It's fine. On the text line. Now, listen, I need everybody to pay attention for a second because this is the old producer in me that comes out. You must text in, not call, text at 615-737-1025. Answer the question, and then don't text 5 minutes later going, did I win? If you don't hear from us, you didn't win. That's how it works.
It's the way it happens, man.
So just throwing that out there because I even saw texts throughout the other shows of like, hey, did I win the Kenny Chesney tickets? No, you did not, unfortunately.
We had people call in yesterday during the midday show.
I
Hey,
know.
did I win? My name is so-and-so. Like, nah, man,
no.
I don't know.
Was it Kenny?
No, it
I
was
I
not.
told him last. I was like, dude, quit calling in.
Here is the trivia question, and the winner will win a pair of tickets to see Kenny Chesney and Zach Brown Band with special guests Megan Maroney and Uncle Cracker at Nissan Stadium on August 3rd. Plus, you'll be qualified to win a $250 Electronic Express gift card.
In the summer of 2003, Kenny Chesney sold out this stadium. And before that, if I recall, the only person to sell out this stadium was Michael Jackson and his brothers in 1984. What stadium did Kenny Chesney sell out that previously had only been sold out by Michael Jackson and his brothers, the Jacksons, on their victory tour? Pretty
Text
simple.
615-737-1025, and we will inform you if you are the winner.
There you go. Dr.
All right.
Crane?
With that, let's get to celebrity birthdays. Celebrity Birthdays is brought to you by Zach Pillar and his new Instagram account. Follow Zach on Instagram at Zach Pillar Design 69 and step into his world.
All right, first birthday today. Here we go. Jane Fonda. How old is Jane Fonda?
Ooh. 83.
86.
86 exactly.
Nice.
Dr. Crane out of the gate. Well done. Samuel L. Jackson, who's from Chattanooga. How old is Samuel L. Jackson?
63.
68.
75.
Is he really?
He is.
Looks young.
Comedian Ray Romano. How old is Ray Romano?
He's funny.
Yes.
58.
63.
66.
Jeez.
Kiefer Sutherland. How old is Kiefer Sutherland today?
Jack
Best
Bauer.
role. Yeah, Jack Bauer. Very good in A Few Good Men.
He is very good in that. It's a good one. 62.
66.
57.
Jeez.
Guys are good today.
You're good every day.
Oh my goodness! There's a lot of people I don't understand. She was the mom in Malcolm in the Middle. Jane Kaczmarek.
57.
62.
68.
Same number you sent the text in.
Okay. Country singer
The
Leroy.
mic was on. Sorry, gentlemen.
Country singer Leroy Parnell. Nashville guy.
81.
Oh, man. 73.
67. Whew, guys are doing good today. Actor comedian Andy Dick.
Watch your mouth.
Why did I know
59.
that was coming.
Because I've been around you too long.
60. I'm going in the 60s today. Just feel it. 67.
58. We're tied at 1. People we do know, actually. Brad Warren of the Warren Brothers. How old is Brad Warren?
64.
Hey, Mr. Brad. I went to school with his son. We went to high school
nice.
together.
Oh, that's right.
Let's see. Mr. Brad. I hope I get this right. He's got to be in his 50s. 55.
55 exactly.
Nice.
There we go, Mr. Brad. You're welcome.
Yeah, he's a good dude. Contemporary Christian singer Natalie Grant.
47.
53.
52. Dr. Crane getting the Christian train rolling now. Come on now, Chaser. You're down 3-1. Okay, don't know. Actor Stephen Yeun from The Walking Dead. How old is he?
40.
46.
40 exactly. It's 3-2. All right, we got 2 left, Chaser. Talk show host Phil Donahue, who is he's married to Marlo Thomas. How old is Phil Donahue? Come on, buddy.
65.
63.
88. Finally, the last one you get. This is it, Chase. You tie it. If not, Dr. Crane wins. Chris Everett, tennis player. How old is she? Come on, man. Chris Everett.
63.
Ooh, this is tough. 71.
69. You get it. Dr. Crane, you win 4-2.
thank you.
Nice.
You tried, Chase.
Congratulations. I did.
You're well done there.
We do have a winner. We'll have Dr. Crane reach out on the text line. The answer was
Neyland Stadium
that's right.
in 2003. Sorted
you
out. Keith Urban opened for him, I think, if I remember correctly.
I saw him in 2008 at Nissan, and Keith Urban opened for him.
Look at you.
It was Keith was in town because and he gets on stage and he's like, "Look, if you see me run off stage, it's because my very, 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 very pregnant wife is backstage, and it means we have to go to the hospital." And the baby was born like that night.
Oh, wow. Well, that's very cool then. Thank you. Hey, as we leave you every show, we just want to tell you guys, we know it's the holiday season, and it can be tough on a lot of people, especially you guys out there. But listen, if you feel like you're struggling to talk to somebody, call 988 on your cell phone. Reach out to Chase or myself. We're always here for you. As I say every show and every day, our world is a better place because you are here. Know that you are loved, and we love you. 988 if you need to talk to somebody, please.
Absolutely. Caroline, Willie, and D-Mace coming up next. 102.5, 106.3 The Game.